A Look at Finance is underwritten by Janney Montgomery Scott, trusted advisors for generations.
Welcome back to Look News. It's Thursday, our weekly appointment with Janney Montgomery Scott's first Vice President, Stephen Carleton.
Thanks, David. Good afternoon.
Great to see you. Thank you. We got a lot going on today. The headlines: Google,
Yes.
celebrating a birthday. STAR program deadline is coming up. Boston Spa Schools get a nice little grant from the state.
Yep.
And, of course, the ongoing conflict in Syria and the ramifications of that. We'll get to some jobless numbers, some retail numbers,
Yep.
and we'll talk about the living wage. We'll continue our discussion.
Absolutely.
Let's get started.
So yeah, there's been so much going on. We're at the end of summer. We just finished Saratoga 150. It was a great season. People had so many different things going on. It was a great success for the town. Everybody was really happy about that. We just heard the frost announcement today, and I said, you know what, David? Winter is coming. Where did the summer go?
Wait. Winter's not here yet.
It's
We've
coming.
got a little while to go. Geez, you are happy today.
Frost. Oh, I couldn't believe it. And then today, somebody said to me as I'm walking out the door of the office that September 5th today, highest oil prices in history.
Wow.
For today.
You're just all doom and gloom today, aren't you?
No, it just shows you how much is going on.
All right, let's start with Google.
Yeah.
Google was celebrating, what is it today, 15 years?
15 years, yeah.
15 years. Of course, one of the most popular search engines of all time. Wasn't always known as Google, though, huh?
Yeah, they had an alternate name in the beginning, and I'm glad they changed it. Originally, they were known as Backrub.
Backrub.com.
So,
I mean, it doesn't
glad
even
they
make any
changed
sense,
it.
does it?
You know, the logic there is a little fuzzy on why they went with that. But 15 years, and you know, this is a company that came out of nowhere. I mean, since 2010, they've just acquiring company after company after company. Great growth story. Certainly a little bit of controversy in the last, 3-4 months for certain, but great story, interesting.
Yeah, you were saying that the founding members of this are all millionaires now. Of course, that makes sense.
Absolutely. You had all the people that originally came in at that starting point, all millionaires. I mean, it goes, the individual employees, not just the executives, everybody that had those stock options and everything else made out famously. So it's a great success story for the country.
STAR program, of course, that's that tax rebate that property owners can get. Applications being sent out. Parts of our viewing area probably already have them on their dining room tables, Warren and Washington County, but Saratoga County.
That's right.
They're in the mail next week.
No, they started it. They've sent it out this week. They're just starting to come out, and if you didn't get it this week, you'll probably get it next week. And the reason they're redoing this because a lot of people were applying for the STAR program on their second homes, and this was only meant to be a tax credit for the primary resident. So if you get it in the mail, you've got to fill it back out, or you will not get that tax credit. So
second homes, huh?
No second homes, not allowed.
No second homes. It would be nice to have a first, I guess.
You got to start somewhere, right?
You got to start somewhere. Boston Spa Schools. This is part of the governor's technology initiatives, getting some cash to.
What a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there were 16 that were awarded this award. And to have this local school acknowledged for achieving that through Cuomo, great story. And particularly when you think about all the technology development that's happening in our region, this is another example of how it just reverberates through the community.
Yeah, it says the grant, 16 schools, as you said, right? Going to projects across the state to help 6,000 students on their pathway to higher education in the workforce. So it's a great way, of course, as you said, technology, especially being on the doorstep of global foundries. This is a great program.
Yep, the great colleges all around us that are really starting to understand the value of catering and creating programs that let these kids graduate with the skills that they need. This community is just leading the way in a lot of areas. So good story.
You know, you started off talking about oil prices reaching new highs. The ongoing problems in Syria, of course, having an effect on that. We, as the United States, the UK, these other countries kind of wrestle with what they're going to do about Syria and the potential that their government is harming their people. Of course, we're talking it from a financial perspective, and of course, oil prices is a big deal.
Yeah, we have to take a step back from the actual story itself, and because time-wise, there's no way to give it proper justice. But the energy story and how it affects our economy is, without question, it reverberates, and the whole of the stock market is holding its breath to see what's going to happen. While Obama's at the G20 today. Whether the degree of the attack that we have and how severe it is, how other countries respond to it, could really radically change the price of oil. It's a critical transit area for energy. So this is a huge story, and as we're coming into fall, this is something that could dramatically affect the stock market either way, and it's no clear direction yet as to what's going to happen. And like you said, the UK kind of taking a step back. Hollande of France is taking it to the public and to the Parliament. This is a very uncertain period with China and Russia being very vocal about their position.
All right, briefly, give me the jobless numbers and the retail stats.
Encouraging. So we've had mixed numbers with retail, and retail, I mean, we've talked about Wal-Mart and Target, limited brands, Gap is coming up. We're really watching this back-to-school program, back-to-school spending, to see how people are spending the money. Kind of iffy numbers, not that great, and the housing numbers we're keeping an eye on because that housing sector is going to be, as interest rates continue going higher, really difficult, really challenging. Those are two things we're watching.
And ADP said for August, 176,000 jobs.
That's the estimate. We had the unemployment numbers come in the 320 range, which is, like we said, continually happening. So some really encouraging news there. Economy's picking up.
All right, we're running out of time, but let's get to this because we promised it. The living wage war, I guess, that's being waged right now. Walmart employees walk out in 15 cities, of course, following on the footsteps of the fast food workers last week. Let's just give you some quick stats, and let's get you on the tail end of this. Walmart has 1.3 million workers in the U.S. Average hourly wage is $9 an hour. Their CEO, his annual salary is $20.7 million. He saw a 14% bump in salary last year. Of course, you know, you're the head of the company. You should be making much more than your employees on the lower level, but is he really worth $20.7 million? And I don't know about you, but I definitely did not see a 14% wage increase last year.
For the rest of us.
It was more like zero or negative at that point, because the economy is tough.
Yeah.
So, you know, these Walmart workers are walking, it's only in 15 cities, but they're looking to unionize. You know, this is part of this whole living wage war thing we got going on.
Yeah, you know, David, this is a story that's going to continue to build. I think it's just starting to get momentum. And the reason for that, it goes back to what we've been talking about. Wages have been stagnant, hours are being cut, benefits are being cut, healthcare coverage is being cut. And this is a story that's going to become more and more significant. And whether it's the fast food chains or Walmart, these companies have to start paying attention to how this could get out of control. This could reverberate throughout the country because there's a lot of families that are really struggling, not getting the hours they need, their wages aren't keeping up. It's inflation. That's the bottom line. Everything is getting more expensive and their incomes aren't matching it. I think this is an inflation problem. And this is going to be really important for us, I think, to talk about more and more as this unfolds.
Yeah, we're unfortunately out of time for tonight's segment. We'll continue to take a look at this. Of course, you at home, if you're experiencing issues living on minimum wage, we'd love to hear from you and include you in the conversation. Real quickly, Janney High Five, player of the game. Our first game is this Friday. It's on air Sunday.
Right.
Your colleague Tim Howe will be out there looking for our player.
Looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun.
All right. The player off the game, of course, will be in the running for that Janney High Five scholarship.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Thanks,
David.
David.
Stephen Carleton, First Vice President, Janney Montgomery Scott. Thank you, sir. Now, to see this segment and all our segments, head to the website looktvonline.com.